I'd like to ask everyone in the audience and all of the council and administration to pray for and for the family of Miss Pam Williams, a District 1 resident who is going on to see our Lord and Savior, and also Mr. Willie Bird from South Kenner. Thank you very much.
Councilmember McKinney, would you lead us in our prayer?
Yes. Lord, thank you for this day and the opportunity for us to come together to make decisions for our community and work together for the best of Kenner. Please give us direction, fortitude, and grace to deal with the challenges that lay ahead. May we always listen and seek guidance from you in all we do. Amen.
We have some members of a Boy Scout troop here in our audience tonight, so I'd like to invite them to come up, introduce themselves, and lead us in our pledge.
Good evening. From Troop 490, my name is Toby Fabregas. This is Chaz Exposito, and that is Zachary Ward. And from Troop 227, we have Cody Muller and Evan Valenti, and we'd like to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum this evening. Council members, do we have any resolutions, motions, or other items to bring from the floor?
Nope.
Hearing none, moving on to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda this evening, we have item 1, approval of minutes, the council meeting of July 12, 2018. Item 2 is approval of alcoholic beverage permit applications. We have none. Item 3 is approval of bingo and public gathering applications. We have none. Item 4 is correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, or department heads. Item 4A, at the request of the administration, a report from Mayor Zahn.
Mayor?
Thank you, Council Chairman. Would stay on. My report tonight will be very quick. It would be on the press conference that we held this past Tuesday morning that most of you all attended and all of you all supporting, along with our Chief of Police. It is Freedom Fest. It's the second annual Freedom Fest that we'll be putting on. I want to first thank the council for their support of continuing to do this. It was done last year with a different council, and tonight you do have something on the agenda to move some of that money to make sure that the Friends of Rivertown can continue to provide a service to the people of Kenner, a free party to put on this party and make sure that we get our Lake Town shown off to everyone in Kenner and also the surrounding area. I want to also thank the Friends of Rivertown for continuing to do this for us. I want to put special thanks to our Jessamine Parish Councilman Dominic Pistata, who has put about $50,000 into this event. I appreciate that because he understands that Kenner is a large part of his district. He knows that by doing this, like he does for Uncle Sam Jam, something that has been a very big success at Lafayette Park, that Freedom Fest is something to wrap up the summer with, the day before Labor Day. It will be September 2nd. That's that Sunday, the day before Labor Day. It will kick off around 3 o'clock. We have a lot of acts this year. I'm going to go through it again. I know everybody knows about it, but just so people know how excited we are about this, our local person, Jenna Hunt, will open up with the national anthem. It'll be followed by the Yodel Boy, which has seemed to become a very, very good choice by our recreation director, who told me a while back that we should get the Yodel Boy. He's someone that started off at Walmart yodeling, and he's a national sensation right now. So we're going to have him right here in Kenner, Louisiana. Be followed by Danielle Bradbury, also Diamond Rio, and close out the night with Kelly Pickler and some fireworks. I want to also express thanks to, besides the people that I already mentioned, Councilman Paul Johnston and Councilman Mark Spears. Mark Spears has the southern area of the city of Kenner. He's also put up some funding, and Paul Johnston, who has no area in the city of Kenner, has also put up equal funding like Mark did. He represents the Harahan, River Ridge, and West Wego area and parts of Metairie. I think that speaks volumes of the support we're getting from Jefferson Parish Council, of what they're doing for us. I want to really thank those guys. I want to thank you all for your support, but mostly I want to thank the people of Kenner and hope that we have a good attendance that night. It's a great time to do this. People are looking for something usually to do that stay in town for these holidays. Labor Day weekend is obviously a long weekend, and I think we're going to have one of the biggest ones that we've had in 2 years at this second one, and we'll only get better. If y'all have any questions, I'm here to answer it, but I appreciate y'all's support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Item 5 is acceptance, rejection of bids requiring an expenditure of less than $5,000. We have none. Item 6 is change orders requiring an expenditure of less than $5,000. We have none. Item 7 is acceptance of committee findings for final passage. We have none. Item 8 is re-subdivision ordinances for final passage. Item 8A is summary ordinance number 12,406, an ordinance approving the plan of re-subdivision of lots P21 and P22 into lots P3, Loyola Track University City Subdivision, Kenner Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, which lots are owned by Jefferson Parish School Board.
Motion by Councilman Brennan for the consent agenda. Second by Councilman Wilmot. Any discussion? Members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Under the public appearance agenda tonight, we have item 9, public hearings for final passage. Item 9A is a public hearing regarding resolution number B16920, a resolution calling a public hearing to determine whether the structures located at 2240 Kansas Avenue, Kenner, Louisiana, shall be abated by repair, rehabilitation, demolition, or removal.
Motion by Councilman Segura, second by Councilman Carroll to open a public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0.
We are now in a public hearing on this matter. Anybody in the public wishing to speak, but I think our code department go first.
As you know, I visit these structures at least 3 times before they come before the city council. This structure in question has deteriorated more each time I visited. The structure in question is a pile supported structure constructed of brick veneer. It has an addition in the rear of the structure that was built without a permit and is below the minimum codes. The property is owned by Mr. and Ms. Eric Lambert. On March the 6th, 2018, the property was declared dangerous and unsafe by the City of Kenner Code of Ordinances, as well as the engineer that visited the site with me. On April 11, 2018, a notice was sent by certified mail to the property owners advising them of the property and the building violations. The City of Kenner also contacted another engineer at this time to do another report on this property, and he also declared it a public nuisance and noted that it was abandoned and below the city codes. At the time of the visit, none of the windows or doors were boarded up. Severe rot at the bottom of the siding, which is made out of wood. The rear door of the addition that was built without a permit was wide open and allowed us to enter with ease. It also allows everybody else in the neighborhood to enter with ease as well. There was substantial debris within the structure. Settlement has occurred around the perimeter of the property, thus causing voids around the perimeter of the slab, allowing vermin to harbor underneath the structure. Based on the visual observations, the structure is a serious public hazard. We recommend that the city take the necessary steps to declare it a public nuisance. We hope that you will vote on this tonight in our support to help us continue our fight on blight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience wishing to speak? We have our curator. She's getting it.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Sophie Rosado of the Rosado Law Firm. Address is P.O. Box 641887, Kenner, Louisiana 70064. I was appointed as a curator to locate Jean Oliber, wife of, and Eric John Lambert. I ran an internet background search on Intellius for all of these defendants. On May 16th of 2018, I mailed 6 certified letters to the addresses provided by the Intellius search. All 6 certified letters to the defendants were returned unclaimed. A copy of all of the letters are included in my curator's exhibits. On May 15th of 2018, I called all of the phone numbers on the Intellius reports for all defendants, to which I was not able to leave a message, as all phone numbers rang and disconnected without an answer and without a voicemail. Mennonite letters were sent by the city of Kenner, and those are also included in my curator's exhibits. Not convinced all of the named defendants had been found, I ran an ad in the Times-Picayune, and it ran on July 1st, July 4th, and July 6th of 2018, and have not heard from anyone or received any phone calls regarding this ad. Those are the steps that I took, and my search is concluded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion by Councilman Segura, second by Councilmember Carroll to close public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0.
Motion by Councilman Segura, second by Councilman Carroll to approve. Any discussion? Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 10 is opening of bids. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. Item 12A is summary ordinance number 12,407, an ordinance amending Chapter 15, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 2, Section 15-21 of the Kenner Code of Ordinances to add an additional stop sign location on Bordeaux Drive at its intersection with Champaign Drive facing south. Mr. Chairman, I have a request at the request of Councilman Brannigan for a two-meeting deferral, please.
Motion by Councilman Brannigan, second by Councilman McKinney for a two-meeting deferral. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 12B is summary ordinance number 12,408, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kenner, Louisiana regarding the legal department to administer all requests for public records.
Motion by Councilmember Segura, second by Councilmember Hayes. Any discussion? Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A is a resolution calling a public hearing to determine whether the structures located at 1013 Minor Street in Kenner, Louisiana shall be abated by repair, rehabilitation, demolition, or removal.
Motion by Councilmember Segura, second by Councilman Brannigan. Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 13B is a resolution appointing Kevin Duffy to the Jefferson Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan Advisory Committee to represent the city of Kenner.
Motion by Councilmember McKinney, second by Councilmember Brannigan. Any discussion? Members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 13C is a resolution requesting assistance from Representative Joseph A. Stagney in securing a one-year extension of Kenner's rating period from the Property Insurance Association of Louisiana due to the extenuating circumstances caused by road construction mandated by the airport terminal construction.
Motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember Hayes. Councilman Wilmot.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have this resolution putting forward. What it does is simply request State Representative Stagney to ask for a one-year extension of the fire rating with the PIAL. PIAL, of course, the state uses many acronyms, but it's Property Insurance Association of Louisiana. Due to the construction of the new terminal and ongoing construction that is happening on Loyola Drive and the future construction that we'll also have at that area. We also have impending demolition potential of the fire station number 38. So therefore, we do ask for this one-year extension, and I ask for all the council members' support. Thank you.
Councilman Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilman Wilmot, I guess this question is to you. You and I had a little discussion. You was explaining to me, obviously you told about the purpose of it, but also as what it potentially could be for the residents in the city of Kenner. If you just want to just touch on that a little bit about the fire rating, our fire rating exceeding, going up. If you could just touch on that a little bit, I would appreciate it for the audience.
Thank you, Councilmember Carroll. Yeah, as far as right now, we do have some changes that are taking place, and we want to see that we're in the best possible position when they do have the fire ratings, because it's kind of not proper at this point. It's kind of premature due to these changes that we're having. They're kind of major changes at that. So 1 year from now, I think it would, right now, we're at a disadvantage having them now. So I think we need to have it later, and I think it's fair to have it at that time. And State Representative Stagney, I think, is in a position to ask for that extension.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Clerk, I don't have a screen. All I got is a vote in progress screen, so I know the mayor's chiming in to speak. Won't work. Mayor?
Thank you, Council Chairman. Also, what Councilman Wilmot said is definitely correct, but also it's discussions that we've had with all the state representatives and also our state senators that, which all of them have reached out to us to work toward a solution with the movement of this fire station because of the flyover. You know, we all support airport progress. We all support the flyover mainly because it'll help with our traffic from North Kenner, which I'm sure Councilman Brennan and also you, Councilman Carroll, I know, support that to alleviate that traffic congestion that would come. But it's also moving that fire station and making sure that there's no gap in service, which this would, we're not going to have a gap in service, but this would definitely, from the state level, all state reps, all state senators will help us make sure that we don't have that gap. So this gives us a little more time that it won't affect our residents. And that's, look, that's the first thing we have to worry about is our residents' ratings not being affected. The help of the state, who obviously has a lot more stroke than we do with the DOTD and also the fire rating system, will make sure that this gets done in a timely manner. So I appreciate you, Councilman Wilmot, working with this with Representative Stagney and also all the state people to make sure this gets done.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 12,409, an ordinance approving a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Friends of Rivertown Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $75,000.
Motion by Councilmember Hayes, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Any discussion? Council members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 12,410, an ordinance authorizing an increase in the amount of $96,081.62 to purchase upgraded equipment on the Rosenbauer 101-foot Cobra Smart aerial platform fire truck with funds reallocated from the BP settlement from Bonaventure Company Incorporated for the Kenner Fire Department. Mr. Chairman, we've received a request from the administration for a one-meeting deferral.
Motion for a one-meeting deferral by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Carroll. Any discussion? Members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 12,411, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Pellerin Laundry Machine Sales in the amount of $6,640 for the purchase of an American ADFG 64 firefighters turnout gear drying cabinet in accordance with telephone bid number T18-2583 for the Kenner Fire Department.
Motion by Councilmember McKinney, second by Councilman Brennan. Any discussion? Members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 15D is summary ordinance number 12,412, an ordinance accepting the responsive bid from AC Supply Incorporated for the purchase of 6 5-ton AC unit, material only, using American Standard air conditioner equipment in accordance with telephone bid number T18-2601 in the amount of $18,365.91 for the Kenner Fire Department.
Motion by Councilmember Hayes, second by Councilmember Brannigan. No hearing any discussion. Members, please vote. Oh, I'm sorry, Greg, I didn't see you. You had a question, Councilman Carroll? Oh, okay. Well, oh,
Mr.
Greg.
Chairman, let me
Yeah,
call your vote real quick. Your
Okay.
motion passes 7-0.
Sorry, didn't see you. Go ahead, if you want to speak, go ahead. It's a question I'm sure you had about it, but
Well, that's what it is, a question. I see that you're paying about $6,000 for the air conditioners, but yet you're asking for 18,000 plus, which doesn't add up. The other thing is, you did have some bids that were lower, but it looks like we're willing to pay a higher price, I guess because you have another company that services those air conditioners. So I'm just a little confused as to the difference in the amount of what we're paying, because it does say for equipment only. And the other question is, who is actually installing these?
Okay, does the administration want to explain the cost first?
The purchase is for 6 5-ton air conditioners, not one. So the total is the number that you read. That's why each is different from the total, because there's 6 of them.
But
And-
six times 6,000 is $36,000, not 18,000.
I don't know, I'm not sure.
What is the price for the individual unit, I guess is what we're trying to get to? You have a price
Oh,
of
I know what this
6
is.
5-ton
No, no, no,
units
no.
for a total amount. What is the price of an individual
This
unit?
is an increase because we didn't, this is 18,000 additional. This is the fire department. Is he here? No, this is, right. It's the 18 additional to what's already in there. And at this time, we're just purchasing the units. We've not made a determination as to who's installing them. That will be a separate decision.
Okay, so, but if you're looking at 6 units at 6,000, 18's not going to pay for them.
Okay, that's what we're yielding to the fire chief for a moment, because we may have a better understanding of if it's purchasing 5 or it's just an increase in cost for 5.
The way that it was bid, the original bid was for 2 units apiece at $6,000. So it's 6 units, and if the bid sheet is, I'm sure, attached to legislation. So it's 6 units, but the way we bid it out, the way I bid it out was it was 2 units apiece on the bid. So the 18,000 is the correct amount, and it's going to be for 3 stations or 4 stations.
Okay, so, Mr. Taft, I don't know if you understand the math now with his explanation?
4, you're looking at 24,000, not 18.
Well,
Now,
the-
3 would be,
Okay.
The way that it was bid, the bid sheet, so there's 2 units on the bid. So it's 2 units for the original cost of, it was 6,000 and some change, I believe is the original number. So it's 2 units on the original bid.
So 2 units is 6,
So
and
times
3
bid-
times 2
times 3
is
the
18.
That's where the 18,000.
Okay, so you should have the math now that it's where the 18 comes from, 6 times the 2 units, which is 3 apiece.
closer, because according to the bid, it was 61, 2197.
Okay,
2 units.
For
but
2
it's
units.
groups of 2, 3 groups of 2? Is that what you said? Okay, I think that's what I heard. Anyway, and then the explanation on the installation is that will be determined and then be done later. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
And the last question is, this company that actually put in the bid, is that part of the city of Kenner, or is that a separate company?
AC Supply is a company, that's not City of Kenner.
No, because if you look at it, it's AC Supply is sending it to Building Control Systems / Airtight.
I guess that's part of their bid process on how they get the units. It's not the City of Kenner. We're not bidding to buy something from ourselves.
I hear you.
Okay.
I'm just looking at
Well, I don't have that.
bid sheet. And it's just confusing. That's the reason I'm
Okay.
bringing it up.
Well, the fire chief would be happy, I guess, to talk to you some more about it. Thank you. We'll continue.
Yes, sir. Item 15E is a resolution approving Amendment Number 1 to the agreement with Crow and Associates doing business as Crow Slit Turf Services to provide ditch spraying in accordance with seal bid number 17-1566, which increases the not-to-exceed amount from $10,000 to $13,272 annually for the Department of Public Works.
Motion by Councilmember Wilmot, second by Councilmember Segura. Any discussion? Seeing none, members, please vote.
Mr. Chairman, motion passes 7-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance naming and designating the Butch Dewey Concession Stand as the Vincent Grafata Concession Stand. Item 16B is an ordinance amending Kenner's Code of Ordinances regarding theft and other crimes against property and to provide for related matters. Item 16C is an ordinance ratifying an emergency purchase for a fire alarm system at Kenner Heritage Hall in the amount of $19,988 by Total Quality Service Incorporated for the Department of General Services. Item 16D is an ordinance authorizing the rental of portable toilets on an as-needed basis utilizing the Jefferson Parish contract with Throne to Go LLC doing business as Event Room Proposal 50-00122046, not to exceed $20,000 for the Kenner Department of Parks and Recreation. Item 16E is an ordinance approving a cooperative endeavor agreement with Visit Kenner Incorporated for services related to increasing tourism in the city of Kenner and in consideration of these services to provide payment in the form of the monthly net proceeds of the hotel occupancy tax in the city of Kenner as authorized by LSA RS 47:388, period 203, after deductions of reasonable expenses and related matters. Item 16F is an ordinance creating the Department of Citizen Services in accordance with Section 4.32 of the city charter and further designating the functions of the department and department head. Item 17 is reports from the council and our special committees.
Any reports of committees? None.
Item 18 is new business. Item 18A, at the request of Councilmember Wilmot, Mr. Carl Groten to give an informational presentation regarding the Lanyap Dog Show.
Mr. Groten, if you'd like to step up to the microphone over here, and thank you for the packet of information you shared with everyone before the meeting, so
Thank you.
give us your name and address.
Yes, Carl W. Groton, 752 Princewood Court, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Thank you.
Again, I welcome and say hello to all my friends here on the council and invite all of you and the citizens of Kenner to attend the 19th Annual Lanyap Classic All-Breed Dog Show at the Pontchartrain Center, which will begin next Thursday, August 2nd, and run through Sunday, August the 5th, starting at 8:30 each morning. If you will look on the screens, we have a brief presentation, kind of giving an explanation of the dog show to the community. Screen number 2, please. As we said, the show will begin next Thursday at 8:30 a.m. in the Pontchartrain Center. It is free for the public to attend, and the Pontchartrain Center is also collecting dog food for distribution to the area animal shelters. On Wednesday, August 1st, starting at 3 p.m., we will have a junior handlers clinic that is put on by both the Louisiana Kennel Club and the Metairie Kennel Club to encourage young people ages 9 through 18 to enter the sport of showing their dogs. There is a $15 fee to attend that, but the show itself will be free to the public. Screen number 3. This gives a breakdown of analysis that participants in attending a dog show in any city right now is spending on average about $685 per person for a 4-day event. And with the entry of about 1,000 dogs that we have, we expect a economic impact of approximately $685,000 to the local economy. And the next screen, please. Next screen. There we go. The total entries for this year are down approximately 50 dogs from last year. Thursday, we'll have 827 entries, Friday, 901, Saturday, 968, and Sunday, 936. Next screen. On average, an AKC, the American Kennel Club, for 2017 sponsored 200 events within the state of Louisiana and had almost 29,000 dogs participate. And the final screen, please. This also gives indication of the shows that will be coming through the state of Louisiana starting next year, starting in January from Alexandria all the way to our show next year in Kenner. And then the final screen, please. We encourage families to participate in dog shows. We have second and third generation families that started out as junior handlers. We encourage families to have their children show dogs. AKC also offers up to $100,000 in scholarships annually to well-deserving junior handlers. And that completes our presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? Councilman Wilmot? Oops, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Groton, I really appreciate you coming in, of course, and give us this presentation. First off and foremost, bringing these good folks and furry creature friends of yours to Kenner. The Pontchartrain setting is a perfect setting for this event. And I know you've been coming for several years now, and it has a definite economic impact on the city of Kenner. And what's nice most of all is that it's free for visitors to come and see this show. And you have several dog shows during a 3 to 4 day span from August 2nd through August 5th, which is a Thursday through a Sunday. So being free for visitors, please try and attend. So thank you again for coming and giving the
We
presentation.
invite you to attend, and as we said, we're having a fundraiser, or not a fundraiser, but a dog food drive with the Pontchartrain Center to try and help stock the shelves at some of the area animal shelters.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Councilman Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Groton, again, thank you for coming today. I just had one question. If a person or a family wanted to present their dog, I know you just don't show up and say, I'm here, I want to walk my dog. So what is the process that one would take if that was something that they thought their dog could live up to the competition and to be, or even to learn to be part of the competition?
Well, we encourage families, if you want to show your dog, it first must be registered with the American Kennel Club. You have to enter the show prior to the show deadline, which passed last Wednesday, the 17th. Usually, show deadline is about 2 weeks before the show actually starts. So the entries are already closed for this year's show, but starting probably in January of next year, you'll be able to register for the 2019 show.
Right. So if I was a novice and just wanted to do it, are there steps that you take, or practice, or some type of schooling you will go to for you and your dog?
Most clubs will offer what are called handling classes. Of course, your dog must be well behaved in the ring, so it must have, the ability to act normal in a kind of a high pressure situation.
Act normal? Yeah, sometimes that's kind of hard to do, even for humans, to act normal sometimes. So we can imagine.
Yeah.
But all of the information that I'm asking now, is it in this booklet? If I read some of the information,
Some of the information
and to be
will
able
be
to
there.
contact a certain club.
Yes, you can
because-
also contact the club. They will be happy to provide you the information. And also, you can go to the American Kennel Club's website at akc.org
That's it, right there.
to get even further information.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I look forward to the event, and I think I'm going to stop by.
Please
and,
do.
Check it out. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Clerk?
Yes, sir. Item 19 is unfinished business and motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position. We have none. Item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Mr. Al Morel, name and
Al
address.
Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 46 years. I want to revisit a topic of discussion from the last council meeting. The topic of discussion was about H&O Gardens' contract with the city of Kenner and the Kenner Housing Authority. I want to reiterate what I had to say at the last meeting. The Kenner Housing Authority takes no funding from the city of Kenner. They funded by HUD with federal tax dollars. They also fall under state law and federal law. But the mayor of the city of Kenner appoints the board members. The board members are the controlling body that procure all contracts, governing body of the procurement process of all contracts that come through that agency. Now, when I brought this issue to the previous administration, the contract with H&O was immediately terminated by the city of Kenner, by the mayor, the then mayor and the then CAO. Now, I got a couple of questions from Ms. Foshee, since she said that it's not a conflict of interest, and I'm not yielding the floor. I want my 3 minutes. Anyway,
So he's
Ms.
got a question,
Foshee,
but I
if it
can't
wasn't a
answer.
conflict, I want to know why. You can answer my question when I'm done. I want to know
Okay.
why the city of Kenner immediately terminated that contract when I brought the issue to the administration. And two, if the contract was wrongfully terminated, why wasn't there any legal litigation filed against the city of Kenner by H&O? And the next question I have is for Ms. Roussel. Was there a request for a legal opinion before this contract was executed with the city of Kenner? And if there was, I'd like to get a copy of the request. And if there was a response, I'd like to get a copy of the response as well. Now, next topic. Mayor, you made my case at the last meeting, why I don't own a computer. And, you know, to be completely dependent, you know, as you are and a bunch of other people down here are on that technology, you don't have much faith in it. Well, I don't either. That's why I don't own one. But it seemed to me if you're dependent on it, you should have more faith in it than you do. One more
45
thing. I did call code enforcement last week, and I left a message on the recorder that I have Rick Walter and his family in my prayers, and I wish Rick Walter a speedy recovery. Anybody got any comments, any questions?
No, sir. You have 25 seconds left.
25 seconds? Well, I think I just about wrapped it up, man.
Good, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And we'll, before I move to the next person, did the city want to respond? Yes, Mayor?
Before Ms. Foshee responds, I guess I have to ask the question, because I'm sure everybody else in this audience, along with the 7 council members, and if the chief was here, would all be confused. She'll answer the question to the best of her knowledge on a previous administration, which we have no control over, obviously, and thank God we don't. But what I have to ask, I guess my question for him to come back next time would be, Mr. Morello, for you to come back next time is, what is the issue if you just gave us the history lesson on how the Housing Authority works, which is a separate entity? What is the issue with H&O having 2 contracts? And even if they were under the ability of the mayor's office in this city, why couldn't they have a contract with one of our other agencies, which would then come back to the city of Kenner? So my point is, for the general public watching this, Council Chairman, is what does it matter? What does it matter, first of all? And then I guess y'all are equally confused with the computer comment, because I am too. So I await the next 2 weeks to have answers to those questions. And look, I appreciate your new policy on how it works, because it moves a lot quicker, and I guess we funnel through the nonsense this way. But I'll yield to Ms. Foshee now. I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused like everybody else in this audience.
Thank you, Mayor. Computers do confuse me also a lot, but we do have to have them, so we got to work with them.
I can't answer what the prior administration said or did or what contracts they terminated. All I can speak to is what we have now. H&O has a contract with us. I don't know if they have a contract with the Housing Authority, but it doesn't make any difference.
Right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Taff, Greg Taff? Pass, thank you. Pass to Jackie Brown Cochran.
Good evening.
Even.
Pastor Jackie Brown Cockerham, 2610 Decatur Street, Kenner, Louisiana. And I have several concerns, and I just want to get through them, and then you could comment. My first request is, or concern is, are there any Kenner businesses that have been allocated or awarded any of those contracts with the airport? And I continue to see the same old names for the contractors and the people who are working businesses in Kenner. Will I guess those businesses that are not or have not grown as big as some of the bigger ones are, will they ever be awarded contracts so that they can grow and receive some of the wealth and prosperity here in Kenner? Yesterday, I was at a planning meeting here, and we talked about new construction of a garage, a 7th-floor garage. I hadn't heard of that one for the city, and the gentleman that spoke talked about 24/7. They're gonna work. They're gonna work because it's gonna get done by the time the airport opens, the new construction. Flights coming to the north side, and everything's going to be geared to the north side. Then the flyovers that we were involved in a meeting that day, that was Tuesday, and everything that's going out from Loyola to the airport, the new service road. And I'm going to ask you all again to not shut off 27th Street. 27th Street is the only east-west street through Veteran Heights. The only east-west street through Veteran Heights. And the concern is, what I've been told, is that they're going to put a wall there, which looks like what they're doing now. I think it's unfair to the residents there. And I know none of you would want to be walled in your neighborhood, but that's what's happening to us over on 20 and Veteran Heights. My other concern, Mayor, is that I know we have a lot of activity that's going on in Kenner. Diversity all over the place, the economic development. But I am concerned as to why I don't see that same diversity in the administration. I know there's some highly qualified, certified, professional Black people who can serve well in the administration because we do pay taxes, but we don't see the representation on the staff. And I'm concerned about that. I've been in Kenner for a long time. And I would like to see various ethnicities represented on the city's administrative department, on your staff.
Thank you, Pastor. Your time's up. And I'm sure the administration will get answers to you. I don't know if they're ready to answer tonight, but okay, maybe they will.
Yeah, we will. I was just
Okay.
trying to see. I'm going to let Molly McGinnis answer on the construction first, and I'll take the second part.
Okay.
About Mr. Sherman's comments about construction, he stated that, but he came back afterward the second time he got up and spoke, remember?
Yes, I
He
remember
got
him
back
saying
up,
that.
and he corrected himself. He said, I misspoke, and we just mean we're going to be working as much as we can, but there will not be construction. And he specifically said, except for between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. That's it.
Yes, I remember that. And I also remember having heard the same thing at the first phase of the airport, and the construction is still going on.
Wow.
Day and night, mid-morning, before dawn. It hasn't changed.
Pastor?
I can imagine another.
Pastor, if I can, we're not in a debate format
No, I'm not
right now.
debating with, I'm simply stating
No, I understand that, but
what she responded to.
she's responding to you, to
Oh,
the
I
questions you
know.
raised. Your time was up.
Oh, okay, so then I just need to let her say what she has to say, and then
Sure,
somebody
and you
else
can
say what
continue
they-
this after the meeting if you
I was-
wanted to have more discussions
Right.
with her. I'm just-
Pardon me?
After the meeting's over,
Okay,
you can have
okay, I
that
got
one-on-one
you.
I just
with
wanted
them.
to address
Yeah, I
the
did
comment
hear him
about the
say that.
24/7. He changed that, he
He
took it
sure
back,
did.
and he fixed that.
But I,
It
and I
will not
just
be
kind
doing
of
24-hour construction.
information about what had been done previously.
Okay,
Same spoken words. Okay.
thank you, Director. Mayor, you taking back?
Yes. Ms. Cochran, I'm glad you brought this up publicly because there have been some others that aren't as friendly as what you and I are that have approached me with that, and I always tell them how wrong they are. I'm not telling you how wrong you are, but I'm glad you did it for the naysayers that are out there that have made these comments. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We're the first administration to actually hire a multicultural diversity coordinator, which is Mr. Rafael Sadi. He is obviously Hispanic, and he's Indian by his nationality. That's pretty diverse. We also have on first reading tonight for the food bank a citizen services department that's being asked for by by me to the city council. The two people that will head that will be African American females. That's pretty diverse. We have had a African American attorney who came to us. She was excellent. I mean, she went to, you may have met her at some of the meetings that we went to, particularly about the airport. She came to us. She was excellent, but because she was excellent, we couldn't afford to keep her. And she went on to bigger and better things. So as we get this in the public and we continue as positions open up, I don't usually go outside too much unless someone comes to me, but we do interview a lot. We don't have a lot of what you see right now actually applying for the jobs that we are filling. But I think as much as what I can do internally, which I've done, and I think with the first reading tonight speaks volumes of this administration, the diversity of this administration, which I know you appreciate. I've had the talks with Councilman Carroll before we did it. Getting into board positions, the council is going to be notified tomorrow of the board positions that are being filled for an economic development group that we actually have that will be 2 African-American females on the executive board of our economic development group. That's pretty good. Actually, one of them, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for the council right now, one of them is one of the co-chairs. So we're reaching out to all cultures, to all groups to do that. We also, besides those board members, and actually there's a Hispanic on that executive board too. And I'm going to ask the council tomorrow for input on some suggestions under consideration from council members, a conversation I had with Councilman Glenn Hayes to make sure that we do that. But if we go into our court system, I believe we have at least one Hispanic judge, one African-American male judge, and I believe one other nationality on there. I had to check. But I'm probably going to end this conversation with my deputy CEO is of Asian descent. So again, that's pretty diverse administration. If you don't think it is, then you and I probably need to meet privately and discuss it, because I don't know how much more diverse I could get than what I just gave, because I probably just gave 10 examples.
Just
That's pretty good.
equity and the diversity.
I think I just explained that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I heard what you said.
Okay.
We can get together.
All right, let's get together, because I don't know how much more diverse I need to get, but I'm always open to suggestions. And I'll be interested to see what the council over next week supplies to me for consideration for that executive board.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
Thank you all for your.
Thank you. Fred Miller? Oh, I'm sorry. Greg, I'm pretty.
Not a problem. Thank you, Mr. President. And I'd like to just comment on a couple of the comments of Pastor Rockingham. The first being the obviously the diversity that she spoke about. I think it is something the mayor and I have had conversations even a year ago. I think it is something that involves not only African Americans, females, Hispanics. It's a combination of all, and we've come to the conclusion that this is an ongoing conversation. We cannot get set in our ways or determine what's today, with the snapshot today, and be satisfied with it. We have to be able to evolve and look at it as the population changes, as people move in, And I think that is the best process, to talk about it, to address it, but to keep it going where there's always a conversation to address what Pastor said. And I think it will be for me and of everyone here on the council to continue to talk about it, because nobody has all the answers. And I think as long as you talk about it, it will get to the point where, will we ever satisfy me? Probably not the pastor. But I think as long as we make progress, that is what I'm hoping, that we continue to do that. The second part about the 27th Street, it is presently scheduled to be dead end. I haven't heard much about a wall, but from the meeting last night that you were at, that I was at, that many of us was at, as it relates to Aberdeen now, will change from a 2-lane highway to a 8-lane highway. So there is some concern about people crossing Aberdeen the way we cross it now to walk. I think that will be too dangerous. There were some conversation with some of the developers and engineers to look at other areas to cross the street, and also the possibility of talking about a pedestrian cross bridge to be able to, for pedestrians. And just to talk about other ways to see, I've gone other places where I've seen the traffic go over, and then there was like a tunnel for people to go through. So those are a couple of things, obviously from a financial standpoint, that will be required. But last night, we left the questions, and they had to take the questions. They couldn't walk away from it to be able to address it as we get closer and closer with this, and to be able to allocate funds, not only for that, but for the whole project. You know, we have 3 alternatives. We have to pick one. So along with that are all the things that you talked about last night, that you talked about today. So we have the city of Kenner look forward to those conversations to ensure that it is conducive to the neighborhoods, to everyone that live and that will be affected by this, because it will go from District 1 to District 5 to Veterans Highway and beyond, that we're going to have to deal with a lot of the projects from this point forward, increasing veterans with the fire station and all of those things together. Make no mistake, it is something that we're going to have to deal with. And hopefully the planning part right now will be conducive enough to support it and the people who live in that area. So I thank you. You live there. We look forward to having other conversations. But I'm sure we'll be talking some more about it. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Seeing nobody else? Okay, Fred Miller.
Fred Miller, 4005 Delaware. I got some questions and some concerns. Is it on the books that they're going to move the Memorial Day and Veterans Day celebration to the north permanently? Or if not, if so, I know a lot of people that wouldn't like it. And my other one is on a new construction that I saw planned in a Kenner paper there about the boat marina and all that. There's other things going around that when they do that, they're going to close the boat launch at Williams Boulevard, and they're going to have a boat launch where you're going to have to pay to launch your boat. Are those things that are going to happen, or is that just things people are talking about that may or may not ever happen?
You have some more time left if you want to finish your time, or you want...
No, that was my 2 main concerns, because I know a lot of people in the VFW, the the Kenner Veterans Committee for the Veterans Park back here, they wouldn't like to move it on a permanent basis. Another whole bunch of guys I know in the American Legion, they wouldn't want to move it either. They like it here because of all the veteran stuff. And if bad weather's a major concern, build a temporary, one of those permanent metal shelters that, just cover, don't have to have sides or anything. That would stop the bad weather. And even make it big enough where you could have the city council and everybody else up there, they'd be covered too. That's my 2 main concerns.
Okay, so you want,
finish
Yeah, if
with
anybody
time.
can answer any of these questions.
No, I just want to give you your time, and then we'll...
That's it.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't need to hog it.
Okay, and I know the mayor wants to chime in, but I'll just, before he gets there, I know after last Memorial Day, Mr. Morrell went to his commander and gave him the same dialogue, I guess, because I got the call from the commander, and we had that talk, and I'm pretty sure the mayor is going to explain that to him, or to us now that...
Yeah, the commander's also my commander. I'm the
I
junior
got that.
vice. He's
I
the
know.
commander.
I know y'all are all in the... but I just let you know it's been brought up before, Mayor.
Right.
Yeah, answer to both questions, no. I think your commander was here earlier, and I had the discussion with him. I don't know if you saw him, but I don't know if
No,
it's
I
the
didn't.
same commander. He was here earlier, and he asked me about it, and I said, no, it's still not true. Probably goes back to a discussion with me and Mr. Al Morella a couple of meetings ago, where I was trying to explain that we had actually moved it because of the weather being bad. And then we talked about ideas that Councilman Segura and I had talked about, and Kelly Han at the time, going from District 5 to District 2 with a parade, either or, whatever direction. But no, that was only done because of the weather issue. What we're not going to do, though, I can tell you this, is build a metal structure for when you're trying to get out of lightning and rain.
That's true.
With using electrical equipment so that everybody can be fried. So we're going to probably stay away from that idea, and we're going to have to move it to another area once it rains again, unfortunately, because we're not God. We don't control that. So we will have to move it to the pavilion or someplace else that would be more fitting. That was done within like a short period of time, very short period of time. So we did it. I think it was the day before, maybe even the afternoon before. We did it because it was the only place we could get into right away. But if there's a closer area we can do it, and we'll work with the councilman of District 2 to see where else we can go. Maybe we come in here and do it and go straight out there. They might have been court that day. That's why we didn't do that. We have to make these,
Understand.
terminations real quick. So, no, it's not going to happen. That's not happening. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time and your comments.
No one else wishing to speak? Anybody have a motion? Motion. All in favor? Thank y'all.